We are heading to Camp Contingency. I don't know why I'm laughing, but I am. I was going to show you kind of what we are taking with us. We're not going to take George, which is the solar flare tomato plant, because we're supposed to hit some freezing temperatures over the next few days overnight. I think we have a low coming up of like 27, and I don't think George would handle that well. But I am going to plant some of the Israeli artichoke tubers that I got in the mail. That was a story. So I ordered these things. It's like an 8-pack, and I was waiting and waiting and waiting, and I was like, I'm not getting these things. And finally it said, you know, you have them. And I was like, no, I don't. So I followed the tracking info, and they shipped them to Idaho for a reason nobody knows why. But they went to Idaho, which is weird because they came from Oregon. But I went ahead and said, hey, you know what? I never got those things. And they were kind enough to resend them. So I'm bringing 2 of the 8 tubers just to plant and see how they hold up out there. And we'll videotape when we plant those. But somebody in Idaho got 8 Israeli artichoke tubers and probably have no idea what the hell they are or why they got them, but I hope they enjoy them. I was going to show you real quick kind of what we have here as far as what we're bringing. It might look like a lot, but it really isn't. I don't know if you can see this. This is basically just cooking stuff because we're going to eat out there. This is water. Most of it is harnesses and AR stuff to dig with. Like I said, 2 harnesses. I've got a backpack. I don't know if Mike has a backpack in here. No. But 2 chairs, and this bucket here is for fire starting. So that's basically everything. So we aren't traveling as heavy as it looks. It's actually pretty light. Not as heavy as we normally do. A lot of this stuff is just extra layers of clothing in case it gets cold. There's a medical bag, so it's just your basics. It's a day camp. There's an AR. Where's your shotgun? Is it in here? Oh, damn. See, look at that. There's going to be a shotgun in here momentarily. We're both carrying sidearms. All painless. And we're going to stop at Walmart and get... Oh, that's the other thing. So I'm going to walk to the cattle tank while he stays at Camp Contingency to test our comms. And while I'm down there, I've got a fishing pole, a rod and reel, a tackle box. I'm going to see if there's any fish in that cattle pond. So we're going to stop at Walmart and probably get some bait or something and some gas. And that's it. We're headed to Camp Contingency. Talk to you soon. Right on. Okay, we're here at Camp Contingency. Gonna test these comms out. I'm taking rod, reel, some bait. Find out if the cattle tank has fish in it. Should have my GoPro set up here shortly, and then I'm gonna head down the wash and check in every few minutes. We've got, where did my, here they are. Got maps here of where I'll be and where Jackhammer Mike will be. We'll be communicating, and be back shortly. Alright, let's see, I'm trying to tell if the camera is looking down at this map. I think it is. Let's see, where's your camera? Should be in good shape. Alright, so Mike and I right now are here. I'm going here, but there's an intermediary point where the washes converge, which is here. So I'm going to check in with him when I get to this spot here, which is about halfway, and that is on this map right here. That's a little over halfway. So where these washes converge, I'm going to radio and then continue on down to cattle ponds. Rock on, Garth. All right, so I'm probably about halfway there, maybe a little over halfway. Like I said, this is the last stretch on the way to the cattle tank. This road always seems like it's the longest part of the walk. This is all different in the day, like a lot different. Some of the stuff I recognize from at night. Yeah, like I said, this is the part that usually seems like the longest part of the walk to me, is where we make this turn on this last stretch to the cattle tank. So I won't bore you with the walk, so I'll be back shortly. Copy that. I'm walking up that little incline. The cattle tank should be directly in front of me in about 10 seconds. Okay, I'm at the cattle tank. Wow, it looks so different in the daytime. This thing's big, dude. And there's ducks here. There's a lot of ducks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 ducks. Okay, so when you're at the shore of the cattle tank, the reception is staticky. But if I just walk up here to the top of this berm, about 40 yards from the shoreline, crystal clear.
Power on. 3.
How do you copy this?
Totally loud and clear.
Okay, I'm transmitting on the FRS radio.
That is sweet. I mean, I know that we've got the upgraded antennas and we pulled off these hams, but you're coming in loud and clear, so that's 1.5 miles away on that little FRS radio.
Yeah, I'm receiving you crystal clear on this. I'm going to walk down to the shoreline and get the fishing stuff ready. Okay, so I am at the cattle tank, obviously. I'm going to shed some of this gear. I'm going to ready up this fishing pole, put a Canadian night crawler on it, whatever that is, and throw it out there and see if we get a bite. I have no idea if this thing is stocked with fish or not. I didn't bring any sort of tripod like an idiot, so I'm going to try and prop this camera up in some way where I can at least record while I'm setting stuff up. Alright, I hope that works. I gotta get some of this stuff off. I'm really hot. So this is December 29th in Arizona, and it's warm out. So we're going to go ahead and throw a fishing pole together. Let's see what's out here. I'll show you on the map here if I can. Let's see which one's the... This one works. So this is where I start out. This is where Mike's at. Came down this wash here to this intersection and then followed this road here to the cattle tank where we're at now. And it's time to set up a fishing pole, see what we get. All right. So I do have green tea and some raw almonds. Well, look at that. And what we'll do is we'll just cast it a little softer. Let the It's absolutely beautiful out here. As you can see, God's beautiful flat earth. Mountains and structures over there. I can see a mesa. Probably shouldn't be visible from this distance, according to the globe earth. But you can see it plain and clear. So it's flat. There's no curvature. You can't see, but there are mountains so far out there. They're just a hazy outline. They're clearly visible. Those should be over the curve. Not super optimistic on the whole fish thing, but you got to give it a shot to find out. Doesn't appear to be much action happening. I'm going to take a walk this way. I haven't actually Like I said, I've never been out here in the daytime. This is a whole new world here. Firewood. Let's see. Now, I didn't know that there was like this plain over here where it flattens out. There's a huge area. It looks like there's a little tributary or creek that comes into it, feeds it. I'd like to do a walk all the way around this thing. Mike's calling me on the ham, so let's see what he's got going on. Go ahead.
Yeah, sorry about that, bro. We missed comms at 1500.
I've got the pole out in the water, and this cattle pond is way different in the daytime. Yeah, so far no action at all on the fishing front.
I imagine it's pretty cold for them. They're going to be deep. Whether we can even, I don't know if there's anything there or not. I would assume there's something in there.
Like I said, I haven't seen anything really since the ducks when I first walked up here.
Yeah, copy that. Hey, I got some bad news for you, bro. I was out here chopping wood. I guess your chair blew over and kind of caught on fire.
My chair caught on fire?
Dude, it's a smoldering pile of twisted dreams and shattered hopes.
Seriously, do I not have a chair anymore?
Well, you got mine until I go and get you a new one. It was my bad. I guess I just put it where it just blew into the fire. It's all over.
Oh man, okay. Oh well, shit happens.
Yeah, primitive. I didn't realize it was going to blow over. It's not really actually that windy right now. There's no wind. Hey, I don't know what you're doing, but when you get a chance, you want to fire off a gunshot so I can see if we can hear it?
So Mike wants me to fire off a gunshot when I leave to see if how well he can hear it from Camp Contingency. So I'm debating on whether I should shoot the handgun or the AR. I think I'm going to go ahead and do the AR. I just stopped at Walmart on the way out here and picked up the Canadian maple syrup infused night crawlers, and they had federal 223 ammo, 100 rounds for $28. So I picked up a box of the 223 ammo. So in honor of that, I think I'll fire off the 223 into this cattle pond before I leave. But no action so far on the fishing front. It might just be that time of year where they're deep or they're just not active. If we found out there were bass or something out here, that would change everything as far as surviving. If it came down to that, it'd be nice to know. I think I'm going to go over here to this other side where this looks like this little canal comes in to feed this area. Let's take a little walk. Maybe the fish will bite while we're over there. Let's go check out this area that I've never seen before. It's the end of December, so I don't expect to see anything much. Everything's down for the winter. But yeah, you can see where this water can come through and feed this cattle pond. A lot of cattle have been through here, obviously. But this whole area here, we never saw it before. It's always here at night, but interesting. There's a whole prickly pear forest right there. Speaking of which, Mike has a Dakota fire hole going back at the camp, which I think I'm going to head back up there. There's no point. The only reason I came down here was to test the comms and see if there's any indication that there were fish in here. So I think I'm going to head back up there, but Mike brought like some steaks and stuff he's going to cook over the Dakota fire hole, but I think I'm going to get a prickly pear cactus to eat and cook on that fire hole as well, because why not? They taste like, well, they don't taste great, but You got to get used to eating stuff like that. So you don't want the first time you eat cactus or anything that grows out in the wild, you don't really want the first time to be in a situation where you don't have that choice and you're already scared and there's a bunch of weird shit going on. That's one less thing you need to worry about, is like, oh, what's this gonna taste like? Or you get used to eating stuff like that now, and it won't seem so weird when things go south. And there's been a lot of weird things going on lately. I don't know what's going on. Nobody does. But the weird blue lights in New York, the 911 system going down in different spots of the country, President Trump leaving unannounced, and none of the deep staters like Hillary and Comey and Brennan and Kerry and all these pricks, none of them have made any social media posts since like the 22nd of December, so that's 1 week from today. They've gone dark. George W. Bush's Twitter has gone to like private. Something like only verified accounts can see his Twitter page now. It's very strange that all these deep state agents' social media accounts have gone dark. There's these strange blue lights in the sky. They didn't just happen in New York City. I know on Marfoogle News, he reported seeing them in the Seattle area 2 or 3 weeks ago. These strange blue flashes of light. So I don't know what the hell's going on, but everybody, there's no excuse not to have food, water, ammunition, a plan, a way to get home if you're at work. Just have a plan. Have your a meeting point, a way for your family to communicate, and like I said, have a rally point. If things go south, everybody needs to get to you know, a certain spot, more than likely your home. We took an alternate route to get out to Camp Contingency today, simply based on the main road that we take when we come out here, the one that's right by our house. It's a fairly heavily trafficked road, and if there was a martial law or any sort of you know, the military or law enforcement were locking anything down at all, that road would have roadblocks and stuff. Absolutely. So we found a way to circumvent that, and we tested it today. It worked fine. It was actually, I prefer the route. There was a dump truck and some cars in front of us that were slowing us down, but if they weren't there, it actually would have gotten us here, I think, a few minutes quicker, just because there's less traffic lights and stuff like that. But it's an alternate route, less traveled, might not be blocked off if we decided we had to come out here. So have a plan, have an alternate, plan your routes. Like I said, get some comms. So I've tested, as the crow flies, I'm like 1.5 miles from Mike right now, and the radio transmissions on the ham are crystal clear, and also on the FRS Family Radio Services, or FSR, Family Service Radio. I don't know what it is. Who cares? It starts with an F and it ends with either an R or an S. And those are the channels that, like, if you go to Walmart and buy Midland or Cobra or whatever, little walkie-talkies that your kids can play with. We just tested that here and have clear reception at 1.5 miles. As clear as it was, I would say at 3 miles they probably still work. So that's a good thing to know. Have plans as far as communication. If you're not going to spend $65 times 2 to get a couple of these Baofeng ham radios, at least get some quality. You know what? Those radios that you buy at Walmart and stuff, they're $45. Pony up another 20. I understand you know, usually you get like 2 in a pack for like $40, $45. You know, for $65, you'll get a ham radio. It'll give you a lot better distance, and then, you know, maybe the next paycheck, get a second one. I would definitely have 2 of them, and you can set them to the family radio service or family service radio, whatever the hell they are. You can set it to those frequencies, and you don't need a ham license to transmit and receive over the FRS or FSR frequencies. So like right now, Mike and I are communicating over the ham on that frequency, so it's completely open. There's no license required, and we're getting 1.5 miles as the crow flies, loud and clear. And like I said, I could easily, I would say, as clear as it is at 5 miles, I think we'd still easily be able to communicate. Definitely 3 miles with those these things here. This is a RETC 15, whatever that is. Most of these are either some OEM Midland, Cobra, Baofeng, something like that. They're basically the same thing. So for the, get a couple of these in the city or in the neighborhood. The houses, we tested them last week. The housing really has an impact on transmit and receive, even with the ham radios. Houses really block the signal a lot without getting any sort of elevation. Don't expect there to be a lot of distance as far as communication, but Mike drove down to the end of the neighborhood to this park, probably a quarter mile away, and it was crystal clear. So as far as neighborhood communications, you'd be good. Once you get out here in the open like this, get out into a more rural area, you're going to get 3, maybe 5 miles, maybe even more. So have some comms, have a plan, because stuff's getting weird, and I don't want any of you to suffer any sort of shitty fate. So bugging in, probably your best bet, but have a way to protect yourself, your family, and your stuff, because there's a lot of people who have failed to prepare, and once they realize what the kind of world of hurt they're in, they're gonna start going door to door to see if they can find stuff. You don't want people coming to your door, especially if there's anyone who knows that you may have prepped or you may lean that way. You've got some stuff. They're coming your way. So have a plan. I think I'm going to pull this fishing gear back in, put all that garbage back on, and make the trek back to Camp Contingency. And Mike wants me to fire off a shot first, so let me let him know I'm going to do that. Taco to base. I can't believe he burned my chair up. I really like that chair. I'm going to pull this fishing pole back in, pack up, put all this shit back on, and head back up. So if you want me to, I'm going to fire an AR into the water.
Do it. Just do one though. Don't do 3.
All right. You'll probably, hopefully, let me know if you hear it. I'll fire in about 10 seconds.
Let's stand by. I got a jet going overhead.
All right.
Okay, I think we're clearing up. Go for it.
Okay, about 10 seconds. Ooh yeah. Give that a moment to travel up there. Anything?
Negative.
Okay, that's interesting. It was pretty damn loud on my end.
Yeah, I'll bet. You have no Gear Pro.
Yeah, I don't need none of that nonsense.
Try 2 rounds.
Alright, it'll be at about 10 seconds.
Splash in 10.
Alright, yeah, that's pretty loud on this end.
Yeah, you can't hear nothing down here.
Alright, well that's interesting. Alright, I'm going to pack this shit up and start heading back.
Copy.
Sure wish I had a chair to sit back in when I got there.
Don't mind, don't worry.
I ain't worried about it. All right, I'll be back in I don't know, half hour or so.
Do that.
All right, so we're gonna put all this shit back on, and apparently fish aren't biting today. They may never bite here. I don't know. Maybe it's something to do with those Canadian worms. Seriously, what the hell's a Canadian nightcrawler? Okay, tubers, we're heading back. Got about 1.5 miles to go. The trip down here wasn't bad at all. I stopped several times to check the map. Also used GPS on the phone once or twice to check approximately the distance I had still to go to the cattle tank. And so on the way back, it's just gonna be, I don't have the maps out, they're all put away. I'm just gonna walk. So I should be back at Camp Contingency in like half an hour at the most, or somewhere in there. And give Mike an update on everything I experienced coming down here. And then I think we're gonna cook over the Dakota fire hole, so stay tuned for that. You want to talk about peaceful? Just out in the middle of nowhere in the desert all by yourself. To me, this is the definition of peaceful. I mean, this is amazing. It's such beautiful country out here. I left the path a little bit. I'm gonna go through the desert here. See if I can maybe shave a little bit of time off the walk back by cutting diagonally through the desert here. All these game trails, I'll just follow them towards the wash. It's the end of December, so it doesn't get much colder. I mean, January, February, then it's going to start warming up again. And we're blessed to live in a place where at this time of year it gets cold at night, but other than that, if you have a good sleeping bag and know how to build a fire and you like ginormous sparrow cactus, I just wanted to show you how peaceful it is out here. Oh, you see that cottontail? I don't know if the GoPro picked it up. I'll see if I was looking towards it when it hopped on by, so maybe I can zoom in on it. But anyway, just went straight up through there. Don't see it anymore. That's good. Let Mike know I've seen quail, ducks, and a cottontail. There is a point where I mean, it's getting pretty dense here. I definitely don't want to get stuck in a bunch of cactus, or all these bushes here have thorns. They all want to kill you. So I was talking about earlier about the dens I saw being probably jackrabbit. Obviously, there's cottontail. I just saw one. So these are all probably rabbit dens. I am kind of zigzagging through the desert. Taking a different route back, but I'm pretty close.
Oh, right on. I was hoping you were going to come up the wash where you went down. I was going to hide behind a bush to see if you can see where I was at.
I'm just walking. I'm kind of zigzagging through the cactus and stuff to get a feel for not using the wash. Can't say enough about these ham radios. What a great thing. What a wonderful gift, Christmas gift that Mike got me. I mean, these things are amazing. And like I said, on Amazon, the Baofeng, I think it's called the BF8 HP. Wait, it says right on here. I think. Oh yeah, BF F8 HP. They're like $63, and then the 15.7 inch or whatever extended antenna, definitely worth the investment. I don't remember what these cost. On the contingency plan website that I have up now, there's the Amazon store section, or Amazon affiliate, or whatever the hell I called it. The radio and the antenna, there's a direct link on the website to those. And if you don't have them, I mean, I don't know what you're waiting for. And if you have something better, that's awesome. But if you don't have some comms that are at least as good as these, I wouldn't mess around. If you know, if instead of buying ammo, or yeah, that's super important. Ammo is something though that, worst case scenario, you're going to be able to scavenge or come upon if things go south. Basically, you'll need enough ammo to find more ammo, but you're probably not going to run across too many of these, and if you do, they need to be programmed. And if we're in a power down situation, solar power is going to get you these charged perhaps, but it's not going to allow you to get on the internet, or to get a list of frequencies and repeater numbers and stuff, and you know, download the app, which is, I'm drawing a blank on right now, the name of that app, but it's not an app, it's a program. You download it to like a laptop, and then you get the cable that comes out of the audio jack here, and it's, I think it's USB on the other end. It plugs in, and then it updates your radio. You want to do all that stuff now while you can. Set all the emergency frequencies, Department of Public Safety frequencies for your area, the FRS or FPR or whatever the hell that thing's called frequencies, which are the ones you can use now to practice with, because they don't require a license, but you'll get the feel of the radio and kind of how it works. Test out the limits as far as your range for your area, and then go out like this and see what kind of range you get out here in a more rural area. Go to your bug out location, and with a couple of these, have one person stay at base like Mike is right now, the other person head out, see how far out your perimeter is, how far can you communicate with these things. But they're fantastic, and can't recommend them enough. If you don't have them already, I would put them at the top of the list. I don't know how much time we have left to mess around. Not only can you communicate with others with these, but you can hear stuff. NOAA, Department of Public Safety, find out what's going on in your area. Like I said, to me they're pretty much invaluable, and I would highly recommend getting a hold of these while you still can. Alright, so I'm back for my desert trek, and that's my chair. That's what a Dakota fire hole does to a chair. I think I can fix it.
We need some duct tape, but we can fix it.
I don't think it's a total loss.
No.
I wouldn't write it off just yet. Literally looks like it survived the directed energy weapon fires in California. You sure this wasn't hit with some sort of a blue beam? Wow. Well, all right. You guys need to stop eating all the grass seed. Look how fat you are. Look at you. You're enormous.